It was a quiet morning in a remote Nova Scotia town, birds chirping, trees swaying, a normal day, until two children simply vanished. No screams, no signs of struggle, just a silent sliding door and silence. Lilly and Jack Sullivan were playing inside their home. Minutes later, they were gone. No footprints, no trace. Nothing but fear and confusion gripped the community. Did they wander off into the unforgiving woods, or did someone take them? This is not just a missing persons case. It's a mystery that cuts through the heart of a nation. And the deeper you look, the darker it gets. 6-year-old Lilly and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan disappeared without a trace from their quiet rural home in Nova Scotia. Days have passed, and the search has turned desperate. Rescue crews scouring dense forests, remote trails, and winding back roads have found nothing. Did the children simply wander off into the wilderness? Or did someone take them? Their mother believes they may have slipped out unnoticed, but their stepfather is adamant this was an abduction. Yet police have uncovered no solid evidence pointing to either theory. And with each hour that ticks by, the hope of bringing Lilly and Jack home grows fainter. What really happened that morning? This is the chilling mystery we're about to uncover. Welcome to Secrets in the Shadows, where the stories are real, the mysteries are deep, and the truth is often more haunting than fiction. If you believe every missing voice deserves to be heard, and every cold trail deserves to be followed, then you're in the right place. Don't just watch from the shadows. Step into the investigation with us. Hit that subscribe button, tap the bell so you never miss a case, and give this video a like to help keep Lilly and Jack's story alive. Your support doesn't just grow the channel, it helps shine a light into the darkest corners where answers still hide. On the morning of May 2nd, 2025, everything seemed normal for the Sullivan family in Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia. 6-year-old Lilly and 4-year-old Jack were playing inside their home while their parents, Malahia Brooks Murray and Daniel Martell, took care of their baby, Meadow. But by 10 a.m., both children had vanished without a trace. Their home was surrounded by thick woods and quiet back roads. It was a peaceful, remote area with few neighbors and weak cell phone service. That peace quickly turned into panic. The last time the parents saw the kids, they were in their bedroom. Martell remembered hearing Jack in the kitchen and Lilly coming into the room now and then. They believe the children may have quietly slipped out through the backsliding door, which doesn't make much noise. That door opened right into a wild forest filled with steep hills and thick bushes, hard to walk through, even for adults. Right away, the parents had different opinions. Brooks Murray thought the kids might have wandered off, but Martell started to believe they had been taken. Once they realized the children were gone, Brooks Murray called 911, and Martell jumped into his truck to search the nearby dirt roads and ditches. They said Lilly and Jack were happy, friendly kids, and both were autistic. Martell didn't believe they would ever go into the woods alone. The only possible clue found in those first few hours was a small boot print near the edge of their property, but it didn't show where the kids went. Police arrived quickly. They didn't find any sign of a break-in or struggle inside the house. Later that day, they issued a special alert for missing children across 3 counties. But the search wasn't easy. The land was rough, full of thick plants and steep hills, and the weather made it even harder. Teams used drones with heat cameras and walked the woods, but they couldn't find anything. As night came, the temperature dropped. Lily and Jack had only been wearing light clothes. Their parents waited in fear, hoping for news. That sliding door became a painful reminder. Did the kids walk out on their own, or did someone come in and take them? As the hours passed, the chance of finding them alive got smaller. Police said there was no proof they were taken, but also no sign they walked off. The lack of answers started to cause tension, and the small community began to feel divided by doubt and fear. Within just a few hours of Lily and Jack being reported missing, the quiet roads of Lansdowne Station were filled with flashing lights and sirens. Emergency crews and volunteers rushed to help. More than 160 people joined the search. There were police officers, ground search teams, helicopter crews, and neighbors who dropped everything to look for the kids. Helicopters from the Department of Natural Resources flew over the thick forests, while the Civil Air Search and Rescue Association helped guide the search from the sky. On the ground, teams moved carefully through the area in organized rows. They used GPS to mark where they had searched, making sure they didn't miss anything or search the same place twice. The land was very hard to search. Thick bushes tore at the searchers' clothes as they moved through places most people would never go. The hills were steep, forcing them to climb up and down all day. The ground was uneven and tiring to walk on. Then the weather made it worse. Rain and fog came suddenly, making it hard to see. RCMP Commander Josh Weiss later said the conditions were punishing. Still, the teams didn't stop. They worked day and night, coming back each morning with blisters, sore muscles, and a heavy feeling that time was running out. Finding Lily and Jack alive was looking less and less likely. Technology helped in important ways. Drones flew over the forests at night using thermal cameras that looked for any heat signals. Their operators stared at screens, hoping to see even the smallest sign of the children. Police dogs tried to follow scent trails, but the rain and huge search area made it hard. Search teams also used special backpacks that let them track where they had already looked. This helped build a digital map showing exactly what parts of the land had already been searched. The community came together in amazing ways. The local Salvation Army set up a food station that stayed open all day and night, serving homemade sandwiches and hot coffee to the tired searchers. Neighbors opened their homes so people could use the bathroom or get medical help if needed. On social media, people offered whatever they could: ATVs, flashlights, even their own drones to help with the search. It was clear the whole community cared deeply and wanted to help bring Lily and Jack home. But even with all this effort, the search found nothing. No pieces of clothing were stuck on branches. No small footprints in the mud. Not a single sound or sign of the children after 5 long days. RCMP officer Carly McCann said they found nothing of evidentiary value, a careful way of saying there were no clues at all. Daniel Martell, the children's stepfather, shared his frustration in public. Hardly any evidence at all since the first day. It's mind-boggling that nothing else was found. After 5 exhausting days, the active search began winding down. The infrared drones found no heat signatures. The police dogs caught no new scents. The extensive grid searches turned up 0 clues about where Lily and Jack might have gone. As crews packed up their gear, a grim realization set in. Either these children had disappeared into the wilderness so completely that no trace remained, or they hadn't gone into those woods at all. This unsettling possibility would soon redirect the investigation in ways no one initially expected. As the search for Lilly and Jack went on without answers, a clear disagreement began to grow between their parents. Daniel Martel, the children's stepfather, became more and more sure that they were taken. He told news reporters he believed someone had abducted them and possibly taken them out of the province. He asked police to check the roads leading to New Brunswick and said he didn't think they had just wandered off. Martel also posted his thoughts online, and many people started paying attention, even though police kept saying they had no proof that someone had taken the children. Meanwhile, the children's mother, Malehia Brooks Murray, stayed focused on hope. Speaking through tears to CTV News, she said, "I'm just staying as hopeful as possible. I want them home. I want to hold them, and I want them home." She didn't rule out the idea that they might have wandered away, but she did agree with Martel in asking for an Amber Alert. Police said no. Corporal Sally Rice explained, "Based on what we know, it appears they wandered off." This difference in belief between what the police said and what Martel believed caused tension within the family and the whole investigation. The stress between the parents became clear when Malehia Brooks Murray blocked Daniel Martel on social media. She moved out of their home and went to stay with relatives outside of Pictou County. Martel later shared that there had already been arguments between their families before the children went missing. Some people even came to their home and accused him of being involved, which led his mother to ask them to leave. These tensions showed that there were deeper problems behind the scenes, beyond just grief. At the same time, Martel's belief that the children were kidnapped spread quickly online. Police struggled to keep up, spending valuable time chasing false tips sent by people who believed the rumors. Even though the RCMP made it clear that there was no proof the children were taken, the theory kept spreading. The local warden, Robert Parker, said, "The mood is tense," and asked the public not to jump to conclusions. Martel described his last moments with the kids in detail. He remembered hearing Jack in the kitchen and seeing Lilly walk into their bedroom several times. He believed they left through the sliding back door and pointed to a single boot print near the edge of the property as the only real clue. But his strong belief in an abduction didn't match what the RCMP found. There was no sign of a break-in or struggle. As time passed, the disagreement grew worse. Martel questioned the police in public, while Brooks Murray remained quiet but deeply emotional. Police grew frustrated as they had to spend more and more time fighting false stories online instead of focusing on real clues. When the RCMP finally announced they were scaling back the search, they gave no new answers. There was still no Amber Alert, no proof of kidnapping, and no sign of the children, but the case was still open. The disappearance had already taken Lilly and Jack. Now, it was starting to tear apart the people around them, causing arguments, spreading rumors, and turning neighbors against each other in fear and blame. The disappearance of Lilly and Jack Sullivan changed everything in Pictou County. What used to be a peaceful town became filled with fear and suspicion. Neighbors who used to smile and wave now looked at each other with doubt, wondering if someone nearby could be involved. The warden of Pictou County, Robert Parker, said things were incredibly tough and asked people to stop spreading rumors online. But not everyone listened. The gossip and whispers kept growing. At Salt Springs Elementary School, where 4-year-old Jack went to pre-primary, the staff brought in counselors to help the students deal with the situation. Teachers gave out helpful guides to families and tried to keep things as normal as possible. The school became a place where worried parents gathered, many keeping a closer eye on their kids, especially during recess and after school. Meanwhile, more and more people began to question Daniel Martel's belief that the children were taken. Some started pointing out things that didn't add up, like why he searched alone in his truck before calling the police. The RCMP continued to say there was no sign of an abduction, and that only made the doubts grow. Quietly, behind closed doors, some in the community started to wonder if Martel was hiding something. When Malaya Brooks Murray decided to leave the area, it caused more talk in the community. She went to stay with family outside the county and stopped talking to Daniel Martel on social media. In a place where families are usually very close, some people thought her leaving was strange. Others believed she was just a heartbroken mother trying to get away from the stress and attention. Soon, news reporters and media crews showed up at Lansdowne Station. Their big trucks lined the small country roads. While the news kept people talking about Lily and Jack, it also helped spread wild rumors and false stories online. Every news statement from the police was picked apart and questioned before the reporters had even left. This made it harder for investigators to tell which tips were real and which ones were just noise. As time passed with no answers, people grew frustrated. Volunteers who had spent days searching the woods started feeling hopeless. The RCMP asked for privacy, but the community wanted answers. People needed someone or something to blame for the fear and pain they were feeling. The case showed cracks in what had once looked like a close, caring town. Old arguments came back, and new suspicions formed. People started locking their doors more often and watching every strange car that drove by. What began as a united effort to find two missing children slowly turned into a place filled with fear and mistrust. Even though police are still working on the case, many people in the community now wonder if they'll ever find out what really happened to Lily and Jack that morning. One thing is certain, Pictou County will never be the same again. As more time passed without finding Lily and Jack Sullivan, police faced many theories, but no real answers. One of the main ideas was that someone had kidnapped the children. This theory became popular online, especially with people sharing their thoughts on social media. Their stepfather, Daniel Martel, strongly believed someone took them and often pointed to these online rumors. But RCMP Corporal Sally Rice was clear. Based on what we know, it appears they wandered off. Since there was no sign of a break-in or struggle inside the house, police said they had no reason to think a crime had happened. Another theory was that wild animals might have attacked the children. In that part of Nova Scotia, black bears, coyotes, and other animals live in the woods. Search teams checked areas where animals might drag something, looking for ripped clothing or signs of a struggle. But they found nothing, no blood, no tracks, and no disturbed ground. So this idea didn't hold up either. Then came the water theory. Maybe the kids had fallen into a river, pond, or flooded ditch. Crews searched every body of water nearby using sonar and even sent divers into dangerous areas. Fast-moving water, hidden objects, and deep spots made it risky, but they checked everything within 2 miles of the house. Still, nothing, no clothes, no shoes, no sign the kids had gone into the water. That theory also started to fall apart. Finally, There was the idea that the children simply got lost in the woods, but that didn't make sense either. Search teams covered thousands of acres using drones, helicopters, and people on foot. They didn't find any footprints, broken branches, dropped snacks, or anything that would show the kids had walked through the forest. Even expert hunters said that was strange. Kids usually leave some sign behind. But this time, the forest showed nothing, not a single trace. The RCMP carefully worked through every possible theory. If there was no sign the kids had wandered off, they expanded the search area. If there was no proof of kidnapping, they spoke again with everyone who had been around the family. If animals were ruled out, they asked wildlife experts, who confirmed that when animals attack, they rarely leave behind any signs at all. But each time they followed a new lead, it went nowhere. People involved in the search said they were confused. How could two children disappear from their backyard and leave no trace? What made the case even more strange was the complete lack of clues. No one heard screams. No one saw strange vehicles in the area that morning. No dangerous people were living nearby. Even the small boot print found near the edge of the property didn't match any of the children's shoes. Every possible clue disappeared the moment it was looked at more closely. RCMP officer Carly McCann said they were following up on all information, but nothing solid ever came in. After searching every lead and every corner of the woods, the active search started to slow down. The RCMP said they were still investigating, but the hope of finding Lilly and Jack alive was fading. Volunteers who had spent cold nights searching packed up and went home. The Salvation Army closed its food tent. Helicopters flew less often. What began as an urgent search ended quietly, without answers, and with one haunting question still left behind. Where did Lilly and Jack go? Their family was left not only with deep sadness, but also with growing anger at the investigators, the community, and whatever unknown force had taken their children and vanished without leaving even one clear sign. As of June 5th, 2025, there are still no major breakthroughs in the heartbreaking case of Lilly and Jack Sullivan. The RCMP says they've received over 355 tips and interviewed more than 50 people, but the children remain missing. The last confirmed sighting was on May 1st, when the kids were seen with family in New Glasgow. Despite large search efforts using drones, police dogs, and even underwater teams across more than 8.5 square kilometers, no clear evidence has been found. Investigators are still asking for dashcam or surveillance footage from Gairloch Road between April 28th and May 2nd. The case remains open, and police are not ruling anything out, including the possibility of foul play. I still believe there's hope. Somewhere out there, Lilly and Jack may be waiting to be found, safe, cared for, and ready to come home. No matter how much time passes, we won't stop hoping. We won't stop searching, and we won't stop saying their names. To Lilly and Jack, if you can hear this, the world hasn't forgotten you. We're still here. We're still looking. And we're still believing that one day you'll be brought home safe. I want you to know I'm not done with this case. I'll continue to research every new detail, follow every lead, and bring you any updates the moment they're available. This story isn't over, and neither is the search for the truth. So make sure to subscribe to Secrets in the Shadows, turn on notifications, and stay with me as we continue to shine a light on what happened to Lilly and Jack. Together, We won't let their story be forgotten. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think happened to Lilly and Jack Sullivan? Did they wander off? Was it foul play? Or is there something we're all missing? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Every idea matters. Every voice keeps their story alive. Thank you for watching and for taking the time to care about Jack and Lilly's story. Until next time, stay aware, stay kind, and thank you for being here.